and Elevation Radio.
Oh, yeah. God bless you. This is Elevation Radio 1, and I'm your host, Pastor Steve, the Music Man Turner, and we thank you for taking the journey with us. This program is sponsored entirely and totally by God. That's what I just said. G-O-D, baby. That's who sponsored this program and holding us up. Yeah. And our subject matter today is Maestro N Motion. I just said it, Maestro N Motion. What is the double D effect? We welcome our special guest all the way from Tennessee, Minister David Davidsen. But before we get to him, I've got to read something here. It's important. It says, years ago, I attempted to do my first recording with my Christian jazz band. I thought and brought in some musical heavyweights to assist me. Folks here in Baltimore and the D.C. area, heavyweights such as Pastor Darryll Elliott, he of the 88 Fingers, Minister Milton Johnson, producer and keyboard extraordinaire, and a young fella, Maestro Guitarist David, Double D Davidsen. He blew our minds with his musical virtuoso. We were all inspired and impressed by him and held him in high esteem. And frankly, still do. And so Elevation Radio 1 is proud to present the music minister to the nations. That's what I call him, Maestro David, Double D Davidsen. Hold on a second. Before we go to Double D Davidsen, I extended an offer to all ministers of music, all recording artists. If you have any kind of musical energy today, 353-194-2055-353. If we happen to get to who do like what I'm about to say, David, in my opinion, is the greatest acoustic rhythm lead guitar player in America. If you don't like that, you need to call me at 1-914-205-5353 and tell me what you are all about. But first, let's go to our beautiful part of our program. Lovely, the beautiful First Lady Leora, otherwise known as the Queen. What scripture do you have for the verse to rehearse?
Yes, thank you. Coming from Psalm 91, I will praise thee, O Lord, with my whole heart. I will show forth all thy marvelous works.
Okay. Right into our conversation. Let me let I'm going to Dr. McKenzie, are you there, sir?
Yeah, I can hear you, but you're breaking up really bad. So I don't know if it's the connection or not. But I can hear you.
Okay. All right. Thank you, sir. How are you doing today?
I'm doing awesome. How about yourself?
I'm blessed and highly favored, Impact Chaser. And so let's get right into our interview. The full team has assembled. And so now, who is Minister Drew Double D Davidsen?
Man, that's a real exciting question. I mean, here's what I tell people. I fell in love with two things when I was in the Navy in Desert Storm. The first was Jesus, and the second was the guitar. And I came out of the Jordan River in Israel, having been baptized, and the Lord put a guitar in my hand and said, "Here, go and chase that." And I remember I heard the Breathing album and fell in love with George Vincent and the way he played. And, that was 1992. And then fast forward to 2013, he actually endorsed my fifth record and had nice things to say about my playing. And I didn't sleep for about 4 days. I had a manager that knew him, and he listened. He listened to a track called 95 South and a couple things. He liked the way I brought the nylon and flamenco to the smooth jazz idiom. He didn't sleep for about 4 days because he was the coolest guitar player I knew when I first started discovering guitar. Prior to that, I was a cello player in grade school. Then I played bass in bands when I turned it sideways. And then in the Navy, I fell in love with the guitar, and I've been chasing tone ever since. So that's some of who I am. I mean, I love God. I love music. I love making great music, and I love playing with all kinds of musicians. all kinds. Especially
All right.
those from Baltimore, man. They're my people. You know, I cut my teeth in Baltimore at Club 347 with Craig Alston and Chris Rhodes and Corey Baker and, you know, all those guys from back home.
Not Corey Baker. Baker family is, we had some Baker families in the church I grew up in, First Apostolic. Kenny Baker, one of the greatest gospel jazz key players I've ever seen here locally. He refuses to give me any chords, but I still, you know, I hold him in high regard. But that's pretty awesome. So you were in the Navy. Didn't know that, sir.
Yeah, I got out of high school, and I didn't feel the need to go to college right away, and I wasn't sure what to do. And my father was in the Navy, so I went in 1989 and immediately got, after boot camp, sent to the Red Sea for Desert Storm, Operation Desert Storm. And I would be on the front of the boat, sitting in a chair, looking for mines from midnight to 4 in the morning. And if I saw one, I was told to shoot it. And I was an underwater weapons technician, but there was no threat of submarines. But I enjoyed my time there. I got to see the world. I got to really have a lot of respect for us as a country. We don't have it all figured out, but, man, I saw some things over there where I was like, wow, you know, that's different. And, you know, it was great. Spent 10 days in Haifa, Israel, and got dunked in the Jordan River in Israel. And God put a guitar in my hand, which was like the greatest day ever.
A new weapon. Incredible. I mean,
yeah.
This is exclusive. I just didn't know that.
Yeah, not many people really know the full story, you know. So, yeah, it's, you know, and I came out, Stephen, I played music as a kid. I went to Peabody when I was very little, and I studied cello. But I came out of that water, and I heard harmony newly. Like I never heard it before. All of a sudden, it made sense. I could do, like, the 13. I could hear those notes. And I started to write stuff like that. And, it, you know, whereas before, in high school, you would tell me to sing my note when the band was playing, and I just kept going to the melody. I'd forget my harmony note, whereas now I hear that stuff naturally.
So there's... Uh-huh. Your father played, you say?
Yeah, my father had two passions. He loved music and he loved astrophysics. He was a physics professor at Johns Hopkins University, taught astrophysics there, did a lot of things for that university. But when I was 8, he took me to see Ella Fitzgerald at Pier 6. And I got hooked.
Oh, the
She was
queen.
cool.
Yeah, the queen of jazz. Ella.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I have a person on the line here, Professor McKenzie Jr. I think he was Ella's old school teacher. He's just that old, but
oh my!
I see you starting already. All right. Okay.
Is there a question you want to ask him, Dr. McKenzie Jr.?
Well, I'm sitting here thinking and listening to him about how he fell in love with music, and I know for me, one of the things that I regret, one of my regrets was I played the piano, the snare drum, and the trumpet.
What?
Loved out of the three. My biggest regret is that I did not stay with the piano because I loved it so much. I look at it now and I listen to folks that play the piano now, and I'm wondering what is it for you? You say you fell in love with listening to George Benson and them. What was it that caught you? That was like, wow, this fascinated you so much that you wanted to stay with it and to stick with it when you first fell in love with it?
Yeah, a great question, and I'll answer that a couple ways. The thing that I fell in love with about George Benson was his ability to play and sing and scat at the same time. And when they interviewed him, they said, "Are you scatting what you're playing, or are you playing what you're scatting?" And he said, "Yes." Like he was doing both simultaneously. I mean, and I learned how to do that, and I do that quite well. You know, for a young light-skinned person from Tennessee, you know, but I like it. But for me, what had me really fall in love with music was this idea that I could be anything I wanted to be on the guitar. and nobody could say what I could or couldn't do but me. And it was just a great way to express myself. And I liked songwriting, and I started immediately after the Navy with a 4-track experimenting with recording. And I got to see the song from the beginning to the end because I knew great songs. My dad, we listened to Bo Diddley, Ray Charles. We had Herb Ellis. We had Charlie Byrd and Annapolis Brass Quintet, and then we had
Charlie Byrd.
And then we had Carole King on and Tapestry. So I had been listening to great songs my whole life, and I knew that great songs could impact somebody and move them. And I thought, man, I want to be able to create a song that could move someone. So and then it got old for a while, and my career launched, and I had my first Billboard single, which was a big deal, and they were playing it 50 times a week in L.A., and my very first gig was on the national scene was 90 Minutes Before George Duke, and I got transformed in that gig. I had not played with that caliber of player yet, and it was so great. I had this great band with Billy Steinway playing piano, but I remember then it got old for a minute. It's like, are you going to ever outdo your last album and this, and it got heavy. And that's when I started really reassessing, and I actually participated in a leadership course that had me actually really reassess my life and fall in love newly again. So it's every year or so I reinvent myself. And lately I've been doing a whole lot of singer-songwriter stuff, which has been really great to explore that lyrically. I've been, studying John Legend and some of the great songwriters of our time, and then writing my own songs. So I just keep going after it, and I try to make it fun, and I try not to make it too heavy, but I'm very serious about what I want to do. I want to really make an impact and a difference with my music, and so I write songs that do that. So I don't spend a lot of time on Facebook with political this or that. I'm either in the gym working out, or I'm in the studio creating a song, or I'm coaching someone who wants to have a breakthrough in their life, and I get to be with them and discover something. I just stay on that path. Or I'm in church, Well, these days.
Did you say church, sir? Did you say church? You don't tell me you're a Christian guitarist, are you?
Oh, of course, yeah. I'm a guitarist who's a Christian. I don't know, are you Christian guitar? Is the music Christian? It's like, so I'm a Christian who plays guitar, and I love playing guitar, and I love serving God, and He is my numero uno, man. He's the reason I play. He rescued me at a time when it was dark, and then He rescued me again at a time when it was dark. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that. I like this. There's a caller here with a 480 area code. Who might be?
This is Louisa Marchese. How are you doing today, brother?
I'm fine, sister. Welcome to Elevation Radio 1.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
What brings you to our airwaves?
Drew.
Okay.
He brings me to
works.
the airways. He's just an amazing man, so talented, and I'm just blessed to be able to link with him professionally and just want to support his endeavors. I know God is blessing him and is going to work mightily through his music ministry, so I am here as a support system to him.
Wow. This is great. Hold on a second. Clap your hands, everybody. Yes, sir. Fantastic. Fantastic. If we could only get that kind of spirit here in Baltimore.
It's so great for you to call in.
Of course, Drew. You know I would never leave you nor forsake you.
Okay. I won't touch that. Okay. Thanking God for that. So you're a fan, or you're an artist who supports Drew, or you collaborate with Drew?
We know each other through some other business dealings that I do that involve working with small businesses and really helping small businesses financially during this time of COVID. So we met each other. When COVID came, Stephen, the music industry stopped. And I began to look at myself. And so I started working with a company, and that's how Louisa and I know each other through that. And it's been really great. And I'm an entrepreneur at heart, too. So I don't just do music. I have my hands on a lot of things, and I like that,
So you're a wise man. I see. Well, how long have I been knowing you, Drew?
Has it been 20 years, almost, maybe?
Are we dating our age
Right.
here? Okay.
It's been, well, I think we met at the Newsom Awards, was where we met.
Oh, no, not the
Maybe.
Newsom Awards. Not Pastor Fred Newsom. Okay. Yeah, I guess you're right.
I remember seeing you
Right.
there, but we might have met each other before then.
Okay, that probably, you remember, maybe better than mine. But I thought we were friends. I mean,
you were running sound or something, or setting something up, and you were playing the piano, and then you invited me to your church to play with your band a couple times, which was so cool. I mean, because for me, I was just discovering all that music, so it was a great chance to grow and learn something new.
okay, I hear somebody moving some paper. I'm trying to listen to what you're saying. We need complete, utter silence. The great Drew David is speaking. Give us that again.
Yeah, I was going to
say that again, Drew.
I think where we met was the Newsom Awards. You were running sound or something, and then I remember you invited me to play with your gospel jazz group, which was so great for me because I was just learning how to really play in bands. You know, I had played solo a lot of my life, you know. I had played in orchestras, but, you know, playing in a band is a different deal. And, you know, being able to play with you, being able to play with, like, Jesse Powers at 347, you know, I just learned a lot about how to negotiate and play with a band, what's appropriate, you know, when to solo, when not to, what to play. So I really enjoyed it. I cherished those times when I was learning, cutting teeth.
I did not know. I guess I've been out here so long, I forgot. I didn't remember I did that. But I remember saying this guy. So, and this for some white American, black American, but music is a great equalizer. And if you have the Bible is true, if whatever gifts are, we'll make room for you. So I saw no problem and asked you to come to our all band and play in all black churches. And we
Steve, you're cutting in and out a little bit. Steven, you're cutting in and out a little bit. I don't know if that's your end.
I'll say it's my end. But in heaven, we have categories and no leading, open, and today of how to make it work. Is there anything else to say? Hello?
Yeah, say that again. You cut in and out for a little bit.
Okay, this is probably in my studio here. I said, your guest have extra to say?
Hey, Steve, you're breaking up.
Yeah, we're losing you.
Okay. There's nothing I can do. Roy, is there anything you want to ask him?
Louisa, anything else you want to know about?
Well, I can. Yeah, you're cutting out really, really bad. So I know I know I couldn't hear you either. So, but I think that you brought up something interesting to me as I was listening to you. You talked about being an entrepreneur as well as being a musician. Can you talk a little bit about that and the things that you do on that side, if you don't mind, on the entrepreneurship side?
Yeah, I don't mind at all. I mean, the great thing about this country is that, we can do entrepreneurship. And, for musicians out there, new musicians, you want to really get that, like, it's your career, and it's a great opportunity to play, and it's a business, too. And so
exactly.
I have been, in the last 6 years, I've been really flexing my leadership muscle and looking at where else can I put the skills in that you learn as a musician, because we learn a lot of things as a musician. We learn how to, learn songs and how to book gigs and how to manage things. And, and for years, you go around town and make $100 a night, or maybe, so I just think there's opportunities for musicians to really take on entrepreneurship. So one of the things I do, I have another business I do where I work with companies inside of their transaction processing, and I actually help companies save money. Everybody's, paying with cards these days and taking credit cards and doing that. So that's how I know Louisa. I have another business where I do that. And it's great to be with merchants and really just, flex that entrepreneurial muscle. I mean, I don't want to be just pinned down to one thing my whole life. But, all of that's inside of who I am as a child of God and as a musician. And, it's another passion of mine is studying business, entrepreneurship. What has people be successful? What has people really go after their goals and the things that they want, and then being able to build back in the community and empower others to do the same. That's another big deal for me. It's giving back.
All right. Now, can you hear me now?
A little bit.
Okay. All right. I think I'm coming back now. I appreciate that. There's another caller on the line from 443-271. Who may I say is calling?
This is Alfred Webb.
Alfred.
What's happening, young man?
Calling from Baltimore, Maryland.
Baltimore.
In support of my,
I like you already.
Yes, in support of my good friend Drew. I've known Drew since probably around 1997, and how we met was I had filled out a flyer at a local music store for a gospel group.
Bill's Music Warehouse.
Yes, sir. And I
we know about that.
I was the bass player for that group, and was looking for a guitar player. And Drew had answered the flyer and spoke on the phone. And Drew had told me he was going to meet me at my church for our rehearsal. And I got there, and Drew was the first person at the rehearsal that night, sitting in his Jeep with the acoustic guitar. I pull up, and I'm like, okay, look like we got a Caucasian guy here, So, and I mean, the group was black, so I'm thinking, okay, can this guy play? And Drew, we hit it off right, man, right there on the spot. Yep. I mean, he came with such a great spirit.
Yep.
And his guitar skills were just way above average. He's just a great guy all around.
Wow.
And today I can call him my brother in Christ, and I love him just like a brother. And we've done a lot of studio stuff together, late nights in the studio.
Yeah.
And he's just a great brother. Yep.
Well, I'm sure he appreciates you, and we applaud. What's your name again?
My name is Al Webb from Baltimore.
Okay, Professor Webb. Let me say this to you now. We have a problem here now, sir. I mean, you're from Baltimore and you're a musician, so we love you automatically here at Elevation Radio 1. We want to call back anytime, but my problem is that I believe that the Music Man, Pastor Turner, met Drew before you. So therefore,
okay,
you can back me up. You can back me up, Drew. And if that's the case, he's my brother first.
Okay.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. We got to find over.
Okay.
I'm messing with
so
you.
Steven,
I'm messing with you.
Here's what I'll say about Al. He took me to my first concert at the Birchmere to see Marcus Miller for the first time. Dean Brown was playing guitar. Poogie Bell was playing drums. And we went there with another bass player, William Neal from D.C. And it was like, it was so great. Al gave me the nickname The Engineer. And he has always built into me and always spoken the future for me and seen that and been there, like, when my, stepdad passed away and, came to the funeral and all of that. But just a dear. And he started his life as a drummer and played in the neighborhood and knew Vince Loving, that great bass player, and then moved over to play bass and just started conquering that. And our group was called Judah First, And I was telling you,
Oh.
Eric Washington was in that group, the keyboard player, but it was called Psalm 100 at the time. Wyman Lester was the drummer in there. And, yeah, you know, we used to go around and play at churches. And, you know, Al, it's so great that you called in.
My pleasure, brother. You know I'm always here to support you. You know.
That's incredible.
Glad to see you doing great things,
If you
brother.
ever need a bass player at a church service, call him.
Oh, he wants me to call him? Is that what you're saying?
Exactly.
Dr. Webb? No.
Dr. Webb,
Well,
I love it.
Dr. Webb, I tell you, put that number out, Dr. Webb, so I can capture it right now.
Yeah, I'll definitely do that. My number is 443-271-5007.
Now, you know that's too fast, sir. Come on now.
443-271-5007. Bass player, Baltimore,
Bass.
and will travel.
That's good to know. That's good to know,
brother. I
Dr.
appreciate you guys.
No, hang on in there. It's Artist and Musician Day, so it's okay. For those artists who don't believe, so you can hang on in there. So for those artists and who are upset that I said Drew Double D Davidsen is the greatest acoustic rhythm lead guitar player in America, I want you to call in and challenge me at 1914-205-5353. I don't think they really see. You have to prove yourself here at Elevation Radio 1. So because I said it, play something. Drew, drop it on them, baby. Let them know what's going on.
I'm the best. I strum better than the rest. 'Cause Stephen Turner puts you to the test. And Al the bass man, Dr. Webb is on the line too.
Yeah.
Woo. Whoa.
That's what I'm talking about, man. Oh my goodness.
All right.
Fantastic. You hit them rhythms, those chords, my good, that modulation. Wow. Hold on a second. Let me go right to the Queen. Queen, what do you think about that?
I think that's awesome. I love it.
Thank you.
Well, I tell you, this is anniversary month. Anniversary is usually supposed to be for one day. The Queen played it was for a whole month, so I've been having to work hard the entire month, Drew. Dinner, buying office desk and chairs, and getting whole sections of the house and all that. Dresses and things. Going financially broke. But I think she thinks I work for her or something. She told me that too, literally. But I actually went to the keyboard and actually created a little snippet of a song for her for the industry, and she seemed to like it. And music benefit you romantically, sir?
Oh yeah. I mean, music is that love language, man. It's that way to create, you know. It's that, you know, serenading. It's just that beautiful expression of sharing a song with someone that you love. You know, I can totally relate.
And I believe for all ladies there who are single.
Oh,
Brother
you did
Drew
say you were going to do that on here.
Yeah, I warned you. Brother Drew is a single young fella, young Christian entrepreneur, itinerant musician, minister. A good catch. And 1914-205-5353. Yeah. And so, Dr. Webb, are you married?
Excuse me, sir?
Are you married, sir?
No, I'm not.
Well, there we go.
But I am
Two for
involved
one.
in a relationship. I'm in a relationship,
Oh,
but I'm not married. No.
Okay, well, we'll go back to the first.
I don't want to go out
two.
there like that.
It's too late, sir. It's 443. Okay, gotcha. And so, okay. And so, I understand, Drew, Minister Drew, you have a new song you're about to drop too. exclusive here on Elevation Radio 1.
Yeah, I have. I'll tell you, I had thought about playing something live, and I am. So when COVID came and when all the rioting came and everything, and I just saw the conversations on Facebook, my heart began to ache. And so I actually wrote a song in response to all of that. And the chorus says, "What's missing in the world is love. What's missing in the world is love. If only we could see each other through the eyes of grace. After all, we're just one human race." And I was just really drawn to this concept of, God created all of us. I mean, and I know we all have differences of opinions and ideas, and there's nothing wrong with that. And I don't know that that's going to have us move forward, when I see the bickering and the complaining on Facebook. I think what's needed is a different conversation. So I started thinking about how could I create that in a song that would just be moving like that. So I've been in the studio tracking it this weekend, but this is the acoustic version of it. You want me to debut this here?
Yeah, let me set you up here, sir. And now
Okay.
Baltimore, D.C., to the world. We globally present one of the greatest global ministers of music of all times, and that is my friend in country, Minister Drew Davidsen, with his new song, The Humans.
Awesome. Here we go. I may never know what you've been through, and I don't know what it's like for you. And it's time I stop pretending that I'm okay with what's been going on. It seems like we've been here before, pushing this revolving door. And it's time we stop pretending that we're okay with what's been going on. I know there is hope for you and me when we stand inside a possibility. What's missing in the world is love. What's missing in the world is love. If only we could see each other through the eyes of grace. After all, we're just one human race. Da da dee da 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 da. What if I could truly get your song? What if I'm not right and you're not wrong? We could sing a song together, move beyond the past and break the wall. I know there is hope for you and me when we stand inside a possibility. Hey, yeah, what's missing in the world is love. What's missing in the world is love. If only we could see each other through the eyes of grace. After all, we're just one human race. Sorry for what we have done, things we have left undone, the songs that were never sung to you. It's time for us to be the change. If not what's here, we'll just remain. It's time for us to stop pretending we're okay with what's been going on. I know there is hope for you and me when we live inside a possibility. What's missing in the world is love. What's missing in the world is love. If only we could see each other through the eyes of. After all, we're just one human race. What's missing in the world is love. What's missing in the world is love. Let's set aside our differences with compassion, love, and grace. After all, we are the human race. Da da dee da 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 da. The human race.
What a refreshing! Come on, clap your hands, everybody. What is wrong with you?
All right, Drew.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Can't you feel the
Great
spirit?
positivity.
See each other through the
Very
eyes.
positive.
You know, so yeah, so I've been in the
like
studio tracking that. I got these crazy acoustic guitars in there and lots of strings, and I was doing a whisper track. Stephen, have you heard of that before?
You got one on me, sir.
So I was in the studio on my 5th album in L.A. in Private Island Tracks. I was working with Preston Glass. His first band consisted of Whitney Houston and Michael Nardo Walton and Randy Jackson. They were session players. He was a piano player producing. He produced Songbird for Kenny G, and he produced like Who's Zooming Who, Aretha Franklin. But I was in the studio with him. I met him through this manager that I had. And I had a song that I heard sounding like Hall & Oates meets Earl Clue. And he brought a great singer in to sing on this. It was Ron Tyson, the High Harmony of the Temptations. And he came in to sing in the studio with me, and he did a whisper track. After he did his vocals, he went back and did the same thing of the lead vocal doing the little things in a whisper, and they blended that in with the actual vocal.
Heavy.
It's an old trick they used to do before they had effects. It's called a whisper track. So I did that earlier today. Yeah, it's cool. It's a different sound when you blend them. When it's old school.
And then we're on old school. Old school would put music on the map. Old school would put preachers in the church.
It is. I mean, right. So I'm staying in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, and I'm staying with a friend of mine, Eric Acosta, and his wife. And Eric's an old engineer who worked with a group called the Association back in the day. And we were literally looking for places for me to sing and record guitar in the house the other night. So he was clapping in the bathroom and determining which way to point. Because back in the day, you didn't have all the plugins you had. But you got that sound, and I got such a great sound on another new song of mine. I won't try to do it on acoustic guitar. There's so many electrics in it. But I got this great, real present sound, and I went, wow. But one of the greatest saxophone solos ever I learned was recorded in a closet that had an opening somewhere. I don't know if it was on a Bruce Springsteen song. It was Clarence Clement or something, and they recorded it in like some odd room. I mean, back in the day, people were doing that, and I think that's a lost art. So I'm just having a lot of fun experimenting with that in the studio, getting different tones and sounds.
Doctor, this is what I'm calling the double D effect. Of the technological advances of the present with some flashbacks of the past. This is fantastic. The double D effect is what it is. Before you go any further, taking us.
Any what?
952-484. Would you say who you are and welcome to Elevation Radio 1?
Oh, yeah. Yes. It's James. Yeah.
Ah,
James.
James.
Yeah,
from
James.
Minneapolis.
I'm up in Minneapolis. It's great. I'm sitting here with Austin Powers. It's groovy music.
We got you, sir.
So Steven, James is working with me on my new music to get it out there globally to the world. And James is a great bass player and producer with a wonderful studio up there in Minneapolis. He was in a band years ago called the Flying Boxcars, and they toured around and had some minor successes and other things,
A lot of fun. Drew, Drew's the best.
Wow.
Yeah, it's great. No, Drew's the real deal. He's a virtuoso for sure, and he's a great songwriter. And it's an honor to work with him. I'm like his older brother, who's trying to shepherd him a little bit with some stuff. But it's great. The radio station are liking him. We put him out on some TV stuff too that we got, and he's been successful on the radio just lately here in the college market too. So that was good.
We launched to 100 college radio stations, and 78 added my music in some capacity or another.
Which is good nowadays, yeah. So yeah,
awesome.
But it was lovely. So yeah, Drew's got the positive vibe and the great musicianship, and what a combination, And thank you for having him on your show. It's wonderful. It's a wonderful show. I've listened to you a few times. It's great.
Oh,
so but
I'm glad I'm saying I would have fallen out. I did. I didn't know. I tell you, listen. My wife, can you say that, sir? Because my wife is listening on the line as the Queen. I want her to know that she has married a winner.
Good. Yeah, she did.
Thank you. Your check is in the mail, sir.
You can take that to the bank. Double D.
And that's
Davidsen says
that's
she's married
coming
a winner.
from my friend Austin Powers and myself. Yeah, I just watched that movie, so that's why.
I love that movie. I just don't know what happened to it.
It's so silly, it's ridiculous, but it's
true.
But I'm sorry, I'm getting you off track here, but no, Drew's music is just he's got so much depth to it. I really believe in him, and so do a lot of people, and he's a joy to work with. He's just he's a true virtuoso. I've worked with hundreds, if not thousands, of people over my career. And, there's only a few I could call a virtuoso, and he's one of them. And he's a humble one too. So that's a lovely combination. So
that's exactly what I've said here in this introduction. That he is a music virtuoso.
Yeah.
We have a team of supporters here at the time to recognize new talent. You just never know. That's been my quest. I was told I was failure because I would only with new and raw talent as opposed to established talent. I just never loved dealing with established talent. I always recruited new talent. So I saw him and I said he's great. And now I thank you all for supporting that idea. Fantastic.
Great.
I think did you say you started that? I think you tried to say you started that, although Al was trying to say he found me first. But long before you and Al, there was the Richard Walton group, was my first group in Baltimore that I played in. Well, no, actually, that's not the truth. I used to play in an R&B band called Touch. We were the house band of Whitman's, if anybody knows where that is.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, we were the house band there every Wednesday night.
Oh, my goodness.
Wow. Drew took it back in 1960, Drew.
And here's a true story. The first time I showed up there to play, I'm not exactly dark, right? We got past all that. They didn't realize I was in the band. They asked me, was I lost? I was like trying to get into the door. They were looking at me like, but I was playing with this guy, Dennis. He was the guitar player in that band. We did some blues that night. I remember this girl was dancing on the table. After that, they loved me. I used to go there. We would play Stevie Wonder, did like Blackstreet. I mean, that was the beginnings of a band for me. But then I joined a group called the Richard Walton Group. We released about 9 albums, and that was my first experience in a real working group that rehearsed every Wednesday night, that played, and I got to see the creation process. And then it's a young horn player that played on my first record, Dave Krug, if he's ever listening. One of the greatest saxophone players on the planet.
Oh, yeah. Fantastic. Yeah.
This guy is great. He encouraged me to go solo. I was in that group, and he said, it's time for you to do your own thing. And he kind of really pushed me out of the nest. And,
cool.
Very cool. I made this album, and I didn't know what would happen with it. And one station didn't want to add anything, and then one station added every single song. And then I met a woman on the internet who introduced me to a record promoter from Capitol Records, Deborah Lewell, and that's kind of how it started. She said, you got more hooks than a fishing tackle box. And she was instrumental in Earl Cruz's career and in Pat Metheny's career. She died of ALS. But she spoke the name Drew Davidsen into existence in the community.
Yeah.
And the next thing you know, the Wave was playing Astro 50 times a week in L.A. And my mother was my manager, and we didn't know what to do with that. I mean, we were trying to get local gigs in Baltimore, and I was in major rotation over there. And then I went over to Catalina and played over there with Billy Steinway and Moise Lucas and Larry Kimple on bass, who was George Duke's bass player and Joe Sample's bass. Great bass player, scary bass player. And then Darryll Williams, who toured with, like, you know, Sade and different people. He would sometimes put the groups together for me. But that was a neat story. In MySpace, someone reached out to me, a drummer, and said, hey, I see you're coming to play at Catalina. I'll put a band together for you. And I'm like, who are you? And I went to his page, and he was Larry Carlton's drummer for 8 years and Michael Bolton's drummer and so forth. And he put this band together that was so great. That's when I realized I wanted to really, like, my producer at the time said, you can't screw up when you go over there. So you got to take the best players possible. So God really opened that door. I met those players. That was fun, man. 90 minutes over there in front of George Duke. And I had a transformation in the middle of that show and turned into a national artist. Signed autographs for 2.5 hours. I didn't know anything about that. I got there and they weren't going to let me in. And I opened up the program guide and said, I'm this guy. Oh, go through. Because I just didn't operate like an artist. I looked like a bumbling fan wanting to get in there early to the show. I was so giddy. I wanted to see, like, Cindy Bradley play and Holly Silk and everybody else on the festival that were artists I knew, you know. And the guy said, you can take the elevator if you want. And I said, yeah, but I just kind of want to walk up the ballroom and, like, relish this moment. We were flying over there, and my name was on the armrest of the plane because XM was playing my song. I never had any of that before, so I got thrust in quickly, and, you know, it was fun.
Oh, that sounds
great.
great.
Say to Drew, you've always been a humble person, man, and I think that's what's taking you as far as you've gone thus far, but I see you going even further. And just remember, man, you're always in my prayers, man, and I'm always thinking about you. You made a great impact on my life as a bass player, and just being around you and learning things, man, has really helped me to grow into the person that I am. And I'm still learning, but I've always looked at you, man, as a genius. You know, just as the other guy just got done talking, your musical vocabulary is vast. You play a lot of different styles. So, I mean, that was just a sample of what you just heard just now.
Yeah.
Drew is good in just about any genre of music, and I would recommend him for any gig with any artist, and I put him up there with the best. So that's just how I feel about you, brother, and you know I feel that way, and I've always looked up to you. So,
Amen.
And I appreciate you, man.
James is a similar way, and How I Met James is really cool, and that's been a real blessing, James, to have you be a part of what we're building.
Well, I'm honored too.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys are cool, and you know, I'm an old dog that's been around for a lot of years, but I know a great talent when I see it, and
so I'm gonna now tell on James. Didn't you tell me that you auditioned for Deep Purple once?
Yeah, 1975 in England. A long time ago. It was right after when they were the biggest band in the world. Their bass player left for about a month or two, Glover, a guy, and so there was 5 guys they auditioned, and I was like 22 years old at that point, and I just happened to be at the right place at the right time, and a manager knew him, so I just auditioned. I thought, oh shoot, I'm going to be in the biggest rock band in the world, but I didn't get it, but came close. So it was fun. I did a lot of stuff on Warner Brothers,
but Al, James got a nice style about him on the bass. Al, you'd appreciate it. I think there's some Facebook footage of him.
2 bass players. Yeah. Oh yeah, Boday's
unheard of.
Boday's good. He doesn't sing, but he's a great guitar player. You know, he's like Drew, but he's not a songwriter or singer besides that. But he's great. He was on national radio with all the stuff with all.
I saw this clip where you were doing
stuff.
A fusion thing. You were doing some kind of fusion thing with Boday, and you were playing a fretless bass or something.
Yep. Yeah, I play my fretless like Jacko or something like that. But yeah, it's fun. but no, but it's, the music business is so diverse now, and it's so. I mean, I ran a record label for 13 years. I had, oh my gosh, a lot of different people on it. Sound Knowledge Records in the country field to the jazz field to the rock field. So I mean, I know the business inside out, but it's it's changed so dramatically, of course, now. But it's still, the essence is the music. It's still got to be great music, and it's got to be wonderful people like yourself and Drew, who are promoting it and doing a great thing. So God bless you. You guys are troopers in the business. So yeah.
Wow.
So, cool.
Cool. Y'all have taken over my entire program, but I love it.
Sorry.
You told me to do that.
I'm so sorry.
It's all right. It's all right. It's Artist and Musician Day, and this is. I mean, when you get a real promoter and real musicians, real ministers of music, real minstrels and global ministers of music, what can you do? Just be quiet. Even my co-host, the VIP Impact Chaser, is quiet. Dr. McKenzie, are you still there, sir?
Yes, I am still here. I'm just enjoying the conversation and enjoying learning about him. And obviously, he is someone who has impacted people's lives from what you can see, from what people have said from. So I think that's awesome.
It's a good segue, sir. That's your VIP co-host. I see, Dr. Webb, you've got a little bit of media on you, sir. You handled that introduction and testimonial very well.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I can't really say enough about Drew. I mean, like I was saying before, the impact that he's made not only on me, but I know a lot of other musicians here in Baltimore. They speak very highly of Drew Davidsen, and he's a rare breed. It's not a lot of musicians out here that are humble. A lot of them have egos and things of that nature. But Drew has always been a humble guy, and
he's a good soul.
I believe that goes a long way.
Yeah,
I tell you. I tell you. Well, that is definitely true. That's what we remember about him. We came to my band's rehearsal and played with the. And when I gave him that lead part to do his solo, good God Almighty. It was awesome. It's awesome.
Nice.
And they looked at me. They first looked at me like, "Why is he bringing this European to the group in the church? Is he out of his mind?" Steve Turner. But when he got finished playing, we're like, "Oh, he's a genius."
Exactly.
Because actually, back in the time when we had a Christian jazz band, Christian jazz wasn't anything that really people were relevant about. So it was like I was looked at as being a abnormal person anyway. So,
Steve, where's your church located?
Well, my church was located at the 4801 Liberty Heights Avenue, Forest Park Senior Center, but because of gang threats and health-related issues, I had to bring it back to my home, which actually it's now centered here on this computer, where I reach out globally through podcasts. And God has jokes. When I said I would never do anything else for God anymore, He said, "I got something for you." So now I reach out to more people this way.
Excellent.
So the mission will never end; it just changes.
Yeah,
and that's important.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
the doors may close, but the airway's open.
Yeah, I just put that, Dr. Webb. And guess what? Even as an older myself, a young 58, I'm getting ready to go back to the studio to do a second EP, which someone, I won't mention, someone who said that they would help me with my CD. And it is Minister Drew Double D Davidsen. Yeah, take that, Webb. Take that, Webb.
I can neither confirm nor deny will there be incredible lead guitar playing.
Wow. That's commitments on the radio right there.
Yeah, I wrote that down.
I love it.
Yeah. They wrote it down.
I love it.
Yeah.
Take that, Webb.
love it. Well,
I can see.
That'll be great. That'll be good.
We're going to have and I've got another bass player who said he would help me. His name is Dwayne Gott, bass player for Hezekiah Walker.
Wow.
So if Lord let me live to see this, I will have a CD that will probably not do anything here because, a prophet's not received in his own country. He's got to go elsewhere. So I'll probably need a promoter. I might need a promoter who might want to take this project.
Wow, I can't wait
Thank
to
God.
hear it.
I can't wait to send it to you, sir, when it's done. With permission, of course, of
please,
friend, compadre,
please do.
Drew Double D.
Please do.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Yeah,
So
forget
Stephen,
about Drew now.
We might want to.
I'm just kidding.
We probably want to let people know that my name is spelled Davidsen with an S-E-N, D-A-V-I-D-S-E-N, and the website is drewdavidsen.com.
Say it again, sir.
Tell people that. It's drewdavidsen.com, and Davidsen is Norwegian spelling, D-A-V-I-D-S-E-N, drewdavidsen.com. They can get to all the social media there, learn about what I'm doing, and as James alluded to, I've got some great new music. I mean, I think in the last 2 years,
you do.
I've written and recorded and produced 55 songs, maybe. I have so many.
They're beautiful songs. They're absolutely great.
I almost don't have the right to be recording more new ones, but in the last week, I got 2 new ones that are super cool. So it's like Song Factory.
Yeah, they're
here,
killers.
That's the great thing about Tennessee. You get inspired. People write songs here, and I'm taking the craft of that. And so James and I are working on how do we release those in the biggest way possible.
Well, we're gonna introduce them to some nice people here coming up. So it'll be wonderful. Again, he's got he's having a rebirth of his career, is what I call it, basically. So he's great. So, but it's an honor to chit chat about him. So I can brag about him better than he can brag about himself. So, but he's done a lot.
That's true.
He's going to do some. Well, Steve, I'd like to hear some of your stuff too. It'd be fun. So, but I'm gonna check out because I'm wrecking your whole radio show.
No, you're not, sir. You're building it up. You're building up, sir.
Come on, James. We always need a bass player.
Yeah,
there you
That's
go.
The foundation.
I can play all the styles, have fun. I've been around for so long.
You play some guitar too?
I like Leo Kaki. I'm kind of a Leo Kaki kind of guy. So I play not as well as that, but he's I played on a couple records with him earlier on in the '70s, and so it was fun.
Well, let me ask you: Do you have your axe in your hand?
I do not. Sorry.
Is it near you?
No, it's down in the studio. I'm way upstairs here on the deck. Sorry.
In the mansion. In the mansion, I got you.
Yeah, in the 5-story mansion that I live here in Bloomington.
It's okay.
No,
yeah.
I wish. No.
As a matter of fact.
It's a lovely house in the Minneapolis area.
The mansion. Listen, sir, you would fit right in with my celebrity co-host, Dr. Leroy McKenzie Jr. when he's not at the Cayman Islands, and Bori, he's actually here on the radio program, which is here today. Oh, praise God!
Oh.
You can maybe be able to trade stock market tips because he's a high roller.
Cool.
You can ask him any question you want to ask him, sir. He's right here. His name is Dr. McKenzie.
No.
Yeah. Go ahead. It's okay.
Yeah,
You still have not learned your lesson, have you?
Bear bonds. Hold on a second. Bear bonds. Let's see here. Gold coins, and bitcoins, and all that. His commodities. That's his specialty, I think.
This show is not about
right?
me.
Wow.
This is about Mr. Drew. Thank you very much.
Commodities.
And in the time, what time is it?
No, it's not. We're actually overtime, extended time, extended time.
So,
don't try to do this. Don't try to use technology.
We need to be focused on Mr. Drew. Thank you very much.
We got Well, let me just say
well,
this.
Everybody there has a lot of experience on there. Yep, that's great.
He's actually a publisher by trade, a book publisher. Drew, in case you want to write your story, he can do that with you for you.
Lovely.
What's the name of your business?
Cool.
Your publishing company, Professor McKenzie?
That would be JNF Enterprises.
What's your website?
JNF Enterprise. Okay. I'll check that out.
Enterprises.com. Yeah. And you'll find a book or two there, or 3 or 4 or 5. God bless you.
Wow.
What else do you want to say, Drew, to aspiring musicians as we get ready to close?
This is what I will say to aspiring musicians. Don't let anyone else say or decide what you can't do or what you can do. No, you just got to follow your passions and go after it like you wouldn't believe. And if you are someone who's working on records and want to write songs, I discovered something recently that I think is why the Beatles stayed as relevant as long as they did in certain, groups. Number one, be genre appropriate for whatever you're doing at that moment when you're writing that. 2, point to the future. You always want to keep pointing to the future with your music. And 3, you want to sound original, right? When you can keep all those things together, young musicians get frustrated by radio, and they go, okay, I don't know, I can't get on the radio. Radio only plays whatever, and da-da-da, When you are culturally relevant, when you are when you keep these 3 things in mind, when you have your distinct sound, and you're also appropriate for the genre, and you point to the future, you can actually have songs that impact and stay around a long time. And I kind of discovered this and that's why the Beatles, Hey Bulldog is very popular these days. People are discovering that bass line that Paul McCartney played, umpteen years ago. So don't lose heart. Yeah. There are young musicians and also the joy is in the journey. I mean, I didn't just wake up one day and get to Catalina. I played in local bands, and I played at churches with Al where there were, 5 people there. And we played because we loved playing music. I mean, and I played gigs, and I worked in the warehouse at night, and then, would work the morning shift and get off and go to Ocean City and play, and, played street fairs. I played on the float where we sent the saxophone player off, and then to hand out flyers, and then he wasn't fast enough to get back on. So
not to mention, Drew, you worked at Paul Reed Smith, Drew.
Yeah, I worked at PRS Guitars for a little bit and met a bunch of artists there, and I have always done my best to stay the course, because I knew that's what I wanted, and when you do that and you remain humble and you learn from anyone, I mean, people will tell you when they're in my band and the drummer comes and they know that if I need to, I'll tell them how to do it. But like when Craig Alston said you should have Corey Baker play drums. I mean, and I had this band for a while that was Alan Blackman and Corey Baker and Chris Rhodes and Craig Alston, Dave Krug. I mean, it was like a killer band. And I said to Corey, look, I'll tell you if I need you to do something, but you're the drummer. And I trust you to bring drums to that because I'm not the drummer. And I've always had that open mentality where the band can speak up and steer and say because they're great. And I want them to be constrained like that. If I need to, I'll come in and say whatever there is to say. But in the end, I want to empower them to be great. And when I do that, the shows always work out. Some of my best footage from like down there in Pensacola, Florida, where I had Corey and Craig with me, and we were slamming down there. It's because I allowed them to be them, I would say those kind of things to the youngest. And practice. Work your scale. Put that metronome on. Al knows, man, we spent many nights shedding at his home when I was first starting to work out my playing, and give it away to somebody else. Everything I learned, I would show Al on the bass, what I was doing on the guitar. Hey, man, to work there. And he would show me stuff, so you just stay humble and stay in the game,
Wow. Absolutely.
Great. Wise.
Wow,
Very
that's
wise.
awesome. Yeah, I tell you, only here at Elevation Radio 1, you get music education, you get endorsements. I mean, and it's all about it's It's all about God.
Yeah.
As we are talking about great men, I want to say a special shout out to the family of our local hero who passed away, the great Mo Gava, 14 years young. The Ravens and the Orioles in the state of Maryland. Battling cancer, was inducted into the Ravens Hall of Fame, and the same day achieved its full purpose and went on to be with the Angels.
Steven Turner.
We will never be the same.
That's a deal.
We will never be the same.
Right.
We love you, Mo.
Yes.
Yeah. One of the great.
I know that we ran over. There have been people that have been trying to call in that can't seem to get in. Is that a?
Oh, really? Well.
Yeah. One person is texting me. He was trying to get on and got some message about Blog Talk Radio and was unable to call in.
Okay.
We will talk again.
My screen is actually filled here. Let's see. And so, all my screen is filled up. That's probably my fault for holding people.
That's all good.
So blame me, the music man. And so on that note, let me give, before I give you the final word, let me give my wife the words that she uses, because when y'all go home, I have to still stay here.
Right.
Queen, are you still there? Queen? Oh, my God. Leora?
I'm asleep.
Probably. You know her well, Webb, without even knowing her. Okay, so this phenomenally has happened before. I'll do one more time. Leora? And so it is. So I'll say bye to my Latino brothers on behalf of my wife, who's had a hard month of pleasure and enjoyment and free gifts and dinners and all this other stuff, celebrating anniversary month.
Nice.
Okay. I'll be calling you, Webb, that's for sure. And
alrighty.
All right, everyone.
And,
I
yes.
took the liberty and I added a caller. This is David Cruz.
Hey, thank you.
Thanks, Dave. David, welcome to our party.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Yeah, I'm trying to sign in. Yeah, must have been a little hiccup or something online or something, but yeah, thanks.
Not a problem, sir. Glad to have you. I apologize.
We know each other
My
through
fault.
Facebook, and we know each other through Facebook, and David just recently moved to Mount Juliet, Tennessee. Very dear friend, a huge fan, and we spent some time together recently listening to some new mixes on his Acoustic Research speakers. If you remember Acoustic Research, they go back.
Oh, yeah.
And stood up and, enjoyed ourselves. And, went to Jason.
We had a great time.
We were the only two people in there. It was like nobody.
Yeah, we had a great time.
Wow.
Fun.
All right, tell us more about yourself, Dave.
Well, actually, we just moved to Mount Juliet, Tennessee, and we're from North Alabama, and I do contracting with the government, and my wife is in retail, and so she had a succession of events that led to a move, and so we had moved into this area, and we're really just kind of getting things, situated and trying to get shifted around, and we're really enjoying the area.
Oh, so I don't want to start any trouble, but you see, you're a contractor for government, so do you have a set of skills?
I'm sorry?
You've seen great Liam Nelson. Do you have a set of skills that other people not like? You say you're a government contractor.
Yeah, I do mostly sales with the government and educational facilities, bases, military installations, things like that, from DynCorp in California all the way to Fort Drum in New York, and all points in between, but principally, in the South, and kind of spread out a little bit.
Okay. You missed that point, Dave. I was going to make a throw. Liam Nelson with a set of skills, but that's okay. Don't worry about it. We'll get you another time.
Okay.
Did anybody catch that joke? I thought they were like Steven Seagal, a set of special skills.
Oh.
Get it?
Oh no, I don't have any of those kind of special skills at all.
I was building you up, sir. Building you up. Could have ran with that for years. Okay. I hear some music. Wait a minute. I hear some music. Thought I heard some music. Did I hear some drumming?
I just can't not. The guitar is in my hand, so I was like.
Okay, well, keep it in your hand, sir. You want to touch home on something?
I'll do a little something else, if that's appropriate.
Of course it is. It's your show.
So, musicians can relate to this. You might be sitting around and you got like some cool ideas, and I had this chord in my mind. It was like a different way to play E minor 9. And then I was going to go to a C. I was sitting around and I thought, well, what could I do with that? And the next thing you know, I found myself on the website for the top 180 songs. And what came out of that is a song called Flashback 17. It's got my tribute to the 80s. My high school days. I said, Flashback 17. Flashback to 17. There was Billy Joel and Billie Jean. As I take a walk down a lonely street of dreams. There was big hair and pink guitars. And who's gonna take you home by the cars? Video killed the radio star on MTV with the checkbook. Don't forget about being simple minded. If I could only travel back in time, the flashback to 17. I said flashback to 17. I said flashback to 17. After Jack and Diane, then came Eileen. Little pink houses on a lonely street of dreams. Doves cry, we walk this way. Addicted to love when you see care. The beds are burning, the world keeps turning. It's a blue Monday. Don't forget about this simple mind. If I could only travel back in time. Flashback 17. Oh, 17. Another part of me, a blister in the sun, 99 red balloons, million miles away. Flashback 17, dee-da-da-da, dee-da-da-da. Flashback 17, million miles away. Flashback to 17. Flashback 17. Million miles away.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
All right, Drew. Yeah, man.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
That's awesome right there, baby.
Cool.
Back to the 80s.
Oh, yeah, I like it. I like it.
Just back to the 80s, man.
Cedric Gibbons, who produced that song, he made it sound like a Prince joint. It's cool. Cedric,
The recorded one's nice. Yeah.
Another great drummer.
Beautiful.
He worked on that. James gave his input and said, "Hey, just a little." Yeah. It turned out to be something really special. I mean, it's a cool tune, and it's been jamming on college radio. It charted on both the underground and weighted charts. Yeah,
I like
nice.
it. Is that from your new album, Rebirth?
from my
It's a great name for an
Rebirth. I
album.
have a compilation
The Rebirth.
called It's Time
I like that.
that I made, and it's from the Rebirth. It's, you know, I've got so many songs, more than I know what to do with, which is a great position to be in as an artist.
does.
Because then you can pick them to
Oh,
life.
yeah.
And, I mean, you know,
You're loaded. Your weapon is loaded, sir. Your weapon is loaded.
This week, you know,
You're
and then I
armed
wrote
and
two more
dangerous.
this week. One was a test to test out my MacBook and see that everything works, and it turned into something really great. I was singing in the bathroom the other night, getting this great like present vocal sound. I mean, I'm a kid in the candy store when I go to create. You know, I'm an extrovert and I love being with people, but I can be alone in the studio too and just sit there and create because I love it. There's something about bringing something to fruition, a song, an idea, and then putting it down on a file and someone being able to play it. You know, I love that. I never want to lose that. You know.
And may God keep that in you. As we get ready to close, I have to say that when you said something about singing in the bathroom, I recall another young man who tries to sing in the bathroom, but it doesn't come out as well. His name is Dr. Leroy McKenzie Jr.
Dr. Leroy.
As a fallen victim from a high apartment building, just falling. Oh! Just never comes out melodiously, but it's all right.
Oh,
is he still there?
It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
All right, bless you, sir.
Lovely show. It's great.
Oh, bless you. Thank God. Thank you for classing up our program and giving us the weight that we needed from the promoter standpoint, which and you are a musician and bass player at that. And that's you're always qualified to call here at 1914-205-5353. If anyone wants to be a sponsor of this program and can fulfill their obligation, God bless you. Email us at elevationradio1@gmail.com, elevationradio1@gmail.com. Look at our website at www.elevationradio1.info. And also, if you need a organist, a musician, keyboardist, singer, keyboardist, God bless you. Call Praise Unlimited Ministries at 1-410-302-2737, 1-410-302-2737, the longest running on-call organist in Maryland since 1994. Go to our I'm bragging web. Go to our website at www.theoncallorganist.org. That's www.theoncallorganist.org, or look at our new website at www.ultimatepraise.us. Ultimatepraise.us. Ready to travel, ready to go out where my friend Drew is, and Dr. Webb. Don't matter, we'll travel to you. God bless you.
All right, now.
God bless you.
Sounds good.
Yeah,
man.
I like it. Include you in it. Yes, sir. So thank you. God bless you, gentlemen of song, gentlemen of music, ministers of music in all diverse forms, even and those who would like to be a minister of music. Professor McKenzie, here, we thank you for your time, and this has been another Elevation Radio 1 moment. God bless you. Remember, keep your head up. Keep your head up.
Thank you, everyone.
Keep your head up.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you,
everyone.
Thank you all.
Bless you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Excellent.